Welcome back to Talk 1260 KTRC. You're listening to the Humanity Behind the Vanity show about plastic surgery and many other things. This is Dr. Daniel Ronel. I'm here with my wife Betsy. We're in the middle of a discussion about when is plastic surgery too young, too
when
much.
Is it too much, right?
And we've just been talking about how it just seems to be focused on young girls.
Always.
I don't see young guys doing this.
Well, they get nose jobs, but always. And yeah, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, there's this, I personally think it's a stupid show on toddlers and tiaras or whatever it's called. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you want to fan the flames of pedophilia, child molestation in this country, what else could you give them? This is a Christmas present every week on whatever
yeah,
channel that is. I mean, these men, they tape it, they watch it over and over. I mean, this is sick. This is objectifying little girls, and for those men who like the little boys, they'll just pretend that's a little boy in that blonde wig and pink frilly dress. They don't care. And it's, I'm sorry, it's hypersexualization, particularly of young girls.
Yeah, but also
starting at age, 6 months.
But not just a toddler thing. The whole thing that we were just talking about of 13-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
Well,
getting
look at Miley
Botox.
Cyrus.
That is also hypersexualization.
Right. I'm not saying Miley Cyrus gets plastic surgery. I doubt she does. She's very cute. But she has turned that page, that Britney Spears page.
Right.
And even when Britney Spears came out with that, schoolgirl song, I forget, Oops, I Did It Again, I think it was, where she was in that, man's fantasy of a little schoolgirl kilt and a tied white Oxford shirt with a tie and pigtails, this little cute blonde, with a tight butt in a short little kilt. Please, that's every man's fantasy. And there she was, fulfilling their fantasy. I'm not saying it was wrong, but I was much younger then too, and I wasn't as wise as I've become. And even I was struck, like, what is this girl? Is not even legal. What is going on here? And, it started with her. I love Britney's music, and I have no issues with her. And she certainly didn't know what she was doing. She was a child. It's the grown-ups around her that told her to do this.
It kind of makes things like that make it okay for all the things that we're talking about. So
right, well, Britney Spears is an idol, an icon to these young kids.
I just think we need to stick to our guns for now, and when, you have a discussion with somebody, a teenager, about getting Botox or filler or changing their looks, it's time to sort of take them out of this new context that the media's created and put them into...
Slap them into some therapy.
Right.
That's what you need.
So
I'll get you a doctor. Here, doctor, psychiatrist.
Dr. Phil.
Right, find out what on God's earth you think you need to change and why, please.
Right. Because it's not developmentally appropriate at that age.
And and they're also looking at models. Now, I used to work in fashion before I had a family, and it was a fantastic career. But it really opened my eyes, because I too, like every other teenage girl I know, admired, in my day it was Chrissy Turlington, Linda Evangelista. I mean, these were the just creme de la creme of the real supermodels. Now everybody on that runway is called a supermodel, which I think is absurd. But anyway, there I was, 16, looking at Cindy Crawford and Chrissy Turlington, who were just a couple years older than me, and they are phenomenally beautiful. I was not given those genes. And truly, none of us, most of us, even the very prettiest of us, we don't look like models. Models are a freak of nature. You cannot get plastic surgery to even duplicate what they look like. A freak of nature, I mean a good thing. And they're flawless. The way their features are put together on their face, the way their body parts relate to one another, it's like looking at a statue. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's geometrically perfect. They're just flawless. The men and the women, but all those models. People who are models are genetically different from the rest of us. Even the best looking of us, we do not look like them. And that's another thing. These young girls, like myself back in the day, would stare at Vogue magazine, and back then it was Mademoiselle, and Bazaar and Elle and everybody, and think, oh God, I want to look like Christy Turlington. But we didn't go out and get plastic surgery, most of us. It just wasn't as rampant then. You just try to do your hair like them, or try to dress like they did in a photograph, that kind of thing, or put on makeup like they had in one photograph or something. Now, though, because it's so readily available, they can go out and get Chrissy Turlington's, rounded lips at
Right,
age
and they'll
16.
mention it by name, right?
Right,
Or
they'll
bring
say,
in the pictures,
yeah, I
right,
mean, you've
all
had
the
kids,
pictures,
right? What is the exposure you've had to this here
So-
in little old Santa Fe?
Even in little old Santa
Right.
Fe, every now and then I have
Sure.
a very young woman who comes in.
You don't call her a
And-
woman. I mean, she's a child.
Well, even if it's a young woman, there's two things. First of all, there's the one who's over 18, so she's allowed to be in my office
Okay.
without a parent.
Right.
And when they show me a picture of somebody like Angelina Jolie, I say, I can't do that because your face isn't made that way.
She's like a duck.
Right. Or I recently got an email from somebody who wants dimples, and she showed me a picture of her and then the person in the magazine. I don't know the actress's name, but I emailed her back. I said, I can't do that because you don't look like that. When it's a very young person, a
Yeah.
teenager in my office with their parent, and they sort of make a joke about
Send
it.
him over to Scott Thomas.
Right, our psychotherapist. No, I just nip it in the bud. I say, no, you're too young, can't do that. You have to be older. And I don't even have a discussion about it.
Yeah, I don't think any of the plastic surgeons in Albuquerque or Santa Fe would do that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, these guys are all pretty. There's one in Albuquerque that's
I don't
not, but the rest of them, they're all good.
And so I think that's the best way to approach it, is just to nip it in the bud.
Yeah, but the thing is, if a kid's nagging and the parents
I can
one who
see
gives
that
in,
happening, right.
I can see where. I mean, I would never be worn down,
Right.
but other parents would be. Luckily, in a place like New Mexico, there are very limited options,
Right.
so the parents don't have to worry. But in places like LA and New
You
York,
can always find somebody to do it.
yeah, there's
for you,
always
right,
some
right.
dirty little underhanded, back in the pharmacy, I shoot you up, give me 50 bucks, okay. They'll do it. Sarai, okay.
All right.
They'll do it. It's just sad. It's just sad. I mean, like we said, Miley Cyrus turned that corner to take herself out of the tween idol to go into seducing grown-ups to buying her music.
Okay.
Very sad.
All right, we're
Anyway,
going to wrap it up. Thanks for listening to this ramble. I want to
wasn't
say
that thrilling, but what can I tell you?
thank you to our sponsor, Artifil, makers of Artifil. And if you need to reach us or contact me, 988-8886 on the web, danielronelmd.com. I'm revamping my website. Just had a meeting today with the website developer. Sure, should be nicer. Send us your email. We'll read it and we'll put it on the show.
Post on Facebook.
Yeah.
Twitter.
On Twitter,
You
Facebook.
can see these shows on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Humanity Behind the Vanity.
Thanks for
That's
listening.
it. All right, thank you very much.
Bye.